Welcome to Kenya. Imagine standing in the midst of the world's greatest wildlife migration, watching as millions of wildebeest thunder across golden savannas. Every corner of this magnificent country holds a new wonder, and every sunrise brings a fresh adventure. But what draws millions of visitors to this East African jewel each year? Perhaps it's the sight of thousands of flamingos painting lakes pink, or the thrill of watching a lion pride hunt in the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro. Kenya is a land where nature puts on its greatest show, where ancient traditions meet modern life, and where every day brings a new discovery. Whether you're a first-time visitor or returning to this enchanting land, Kenya's treasures will capture your heart and feed your soul. So how well do you know this African paradise? Here's a quick question. Which national park in Kenya is the only one in the world where you can go on safari with a city skyline as your backdrop? Write your answer in the comments below. Now, let's begin our journey through this remarkable country. Our journey begins in one of Africa's most spectacular wildlife theaters, the Maasai Mara National Reserve. Stretching across 1,510 square kilometers of untamed wilderness, the Mara, as it's affectionately known, is nature's greatest stage. As you enter the reserve, the landscape unfolds before you like a living painting. Golden grasslands dotted with iconic umbrella acacia trees stretch as far as the eye can see. The sky above seems endless, painted in shades of blue that deepen as the day progresses. But it's between July and October that the Mara truly comes alive with one of nature's most extraordinary spectacles, the Great Migration. Over 2 million wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles make their annual journey from Tanzania's Serengeti, crossing treacherous rivers and facing countless predators in their search for fresh grazing. But the Mara isn't just about the migration. This is big cat country, where lions lounge on termite mounds, using them as natural watchtowers to survey their kingdom. Leopards drape themselves over acacia branches, while cheetahs sprint across the plains in pursuit of their prey. The reserve is also home to the proud Maasai people, whose vibrant red clothing adds splashes of color to the landscape. These traditional pastoralists have lived in harmony with the wildlife for centuries, their customs and way of life as much a part of the Mara as the animals themselves. As evening approaches, the Mara transforms. The setting sun paints the sky in brilliant oranges and purples, silhouetting giraffes and elephants against the horizon. This is the magic hour, when nocturnal creatures begin to stir, and the day's heat gives way to the cool of night. In the darkness, you might hear the whooping call of hyenas or the deep roar of a lion, nature's own symphony playing out under a star-filled African sky. From the sweeping savannas, we journey to the majestic heights of Mount Kenya, Africa's second highest peak and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Rising 5,199 meters into the clouds, this ancient volcano commands attention. Its jagged peaks crowned with snow despite being so close to the equator. The mountain is more than just an impressive landmark. It's a world unto itself, where landscapes and wildlife change dramatically with every step upward. The journey to its heights takes you through 5 distinct ecological zones, each with its own character and charm. Starting in the lower reaches, you'll walk through dense rainforest where massive African rosewood trees tower overhead. The air here is rich with the scent of wild herbs and the calls of over 130 species of birds. As you climb higher, the forest gives way to bamboo zones where elephants come to feed. The thick bamboo creates mysterious green tunnels, their stems creaking and whispering in the mountain breeze. This is also the realm of the rare bongo antelope, though you'll need luck and patience to spot one of these shy creatures. Above the bamboo, you'll enter the heather zone, where giant groundsels and lobelias create an otherworldly landscape. These unique plants have adapted to the harsh alpine conditions, their strange forms creating a prehistoric atmosphere. Near the peaks, the air grows thin and the landscape becomes increasingly stark. Hardy, everlasting flowers add spots of color to the rocky terrain, while overhead, magnificent Verreaux's eagles soar on thermal currents, scanning the slopes for prey. The mountain holds special significance for local communities, who believe it to be the home of their god, Ngai. Standing on its slopes, watching the play of light and shadow across the valleys below, it's easy to understand why they consider this place sacred. From the heights of Mount Kenya, we descend to one of Kenya's most striking spectacles, Lake Nakuru National Park. Here, a vast alkaline lake shimmers pink with thousands of flamingos, creating one of Africa's most photographed wildlife scenes. As you enter the park, the acacia woodland opens up to reveal the lake stretching before you like a mirror. On calm mornings, the water reflects the sky perfectly, creating a dreamlike landscape where earth and heaven seem to merge. The famous flamingos are just part of the story. Both lesser and greater flamingos gather here, their numbers sometimes swelling to over 1 million birds. When they take flight together, the sky fills with pink wings, creating a natural ballet that takes your breath away. But Lake Nakuru offers more than just its famous flamingos. The park is a sanctuary for both black and white rhinos, making it one of the best places in Kenya to see these endangered creatures. You might spot them grazing peacefully in the grasslands or resting under the shade of yellow-barked acacia trees. The park's euphorbia forest, one of the largest in Africa, creates an enchanting landscape. These tall, candelabra-like trees stand like ancient sentinels, providing perfect perches for fish eagles, whose distinctive calls echo across the lake. Lions can often be spotted lounging on the rocky outcrops, while leopards move silently through the woodland. As evening approaches, waterbuck and zebra gather near the lake's edges to drink. The setting sun turns the lake's surface to liquid gold, while pelicans glide in to roost, their wings catching the last rays of daylight. The viewpoints around the lake offer spectacular panoramas. From Baboon Cliff, you can see the entire lake spread out before you, its shores lined with pink, while buffalo and antelope graze in the surrounding grasslands. Our journey continues to Amboseli National Park, where nature has created one of the most iconic African landscapes imaginable. Here, herds of elephants roam against the backdrop of Mount Kilimanjaro, creating scenes that have graced countless wildlife documentaries and photography books. As you enter the park, the first thing that strikes you is the contrast. The dry savanna stretches out before you, while Africa's highest peak rises in the background, its snow-capped summit often visible in the early morning light. Amboseli is elephant country, home to some of Africa's largest tuskers. These magnificent creatures have been studied here for over 40 years. The park's elephants are among the most researched in the world, and many are so accustomed to vehicles that you can observe their natural behavior up close. The park's unique ecosystem is fed by underground springs from Kilimanjaro's melting snow. These create permanent marshes and swamps that sustain wildlife even during the driest seasons. Here, hippos wallow in the cool water while hundreds of bird species, from colorful kingfishers to majestic crowned cranes, make their home. At the heart of the park lies the dried bed of Lake Amboseli. During the dry season, this vast salt pan shimmers with mirages, creating surreal scenes as animals appear to walk on water. The flat, open landscape makes wildlife spotting particularly rewarding. Lions can't hide their hunting approaches here, offering visitors incredible opportunities to witness predator-prey interactions.
They are hunting.
Yeah.
The Maasai people still live traditional lives around the park's borders, their distinctive red shukas adding splashes of color to the landscape. Dawn in Amboseli is particularly magical. As the sun rises behind Kilimanjaro, elephants emerge from the morning mist, their shapes gradually becoming clearer as they make their way to the marshes. The mountain's peak catches the first light, glowing pink and gold against the lightening sky. The park is also home to some of Kenya's largest buffalo, their dark shapes contrasting with the dusty plains. Giraffes move elegantly between the sparse acacia trees, while zebras and wildebeest graze in mixed herds across the grasslands. Our next destination is Kenya's largest protected area, the magnificent Tsavo National Parks. Split into east and west by the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway, these parks together cover an area larger than Wales, offering some of Kenya's most dramatic landscapes and diverse wildlife experiences. Tsavo East, known as one of Kenya's oldest and largest parks, is a true wilderness. The park's distinctive red soil creates an almost Martian landscape, while the Galana River cuts through it like a lifeline, its banks lined with dome palms and riverine forests. The park is famous for its red elephants. These magnificent creatures appear brick red because they dust bathe in the park's distinctive soil. Watching a herd of these crimson giants moving through the bush is an unforgettable sight. The Yatta Plateau, the world's longest lava flow, runs along the park's western boundary. This ancient geological feature creates a dramatic backdrop and serves as a vital wildlife corridor. From its heights, you can see vast herds of buffalo and elephant moving across the plains below. Tsavo West presents a different face of Kenya. Here, the landscape is more varied, with rocky outcrops, rolling hills, and natural springs, creating oases in the semi-arid terrain. The park's most famous feature is Mazima Springs, where crystal-clear water filters up through volcanic rocks, creating pools teeming with hippos and crocodiles. The Shetani lava flows in Tsavo West tell the story of the area's volcanic past. These stark black rocky landscapes, whose name means devil in Swahili, create an otherworldly scene. Despite their forbidding appearance, these lava fields support unique plant life and provide shelter for klipspringers and other wildlife. Both parks are home to all of Africa's Big Five, but it's the lions that hold a special place in Tsavo's history. In the late 1800s, two male lions terrorized workers building the Kenya-Uganda Railway, leading to the famous story of the man-eaters of Tsavo. The park's vastness means you can drive for hours without seeing another vehicle, creating a true wilderness experience. As the sun sets, the red earth glows like hot coals, and the calls of nightjars begin to fill the air. This is Africa as it was centuries ago, wild and untamed. From the wilderness of Tsavo, we journey to the enchanting Lamu Island. This UNESCO World Heritage Site holds over 1,000 years of stories within its narrow streets and coral stone buildings. As you step off the boat onto Lamu's waterfront, you enter a world where donkeys are still the main form of transport, and where wooden doors, intricately carved with Islamic patterns, tell tales of centuries-old trade routes. The old town's architecture is a testament to the fusion of Swahili, Arabic, Persian, Indian, and European building styles. Massive wooden doors, some over 400 years old, lead to cool courtyards where jasmine vines climb whitewashed walls. Walking through Lamu's narrow streets is like exploring a living museum. These winding pathways, some barely wide enough for two people to pass, were designed to create natural air conditioning, channeling cool sea breezes through the town while providing shade from the tropical sun. The town's seafront is a constant hub of activity. Traditional dhows, their distinctive triangular sails catching the wind, come and go from the harbor just as they have for centuries. Fishermen bring in their daily catch, while skilled shipwrights continue the ancient art of dough building using traditional methods passed down through generations. Lamu Fort, standing proud since 1813, offers stunning views across the town's rooftops to the sea beyond.
That's it. Lamu Fort Library.
From its battlements, you can watch the sun set behind a forest of minarets, while the call to prayer echoes across the ancient settlement. The island's beaches tell another story. Miles of pristine sand stretch along the eastern shore, where the warm waters of the Indian Ocean invite you to swim, or simply watch the dhows glide past on the horizon. As evening falls, the scent of Swahili cooking drifts through the streets, cardamom, clove, and cinnamon mixing with the salty sea air. This is when Lamu truly comes alive, as locals gather in small squares to share stories, and traders set up traditional food stalls in the market. Next up, we head north to the wild and rugged Samburu National Reserve, where Kenya shows yet another of its fascinating faces. Here, in this semi-arid landscape, the Ewaso Nyiro River creates a green oasis that attracts unique wildlife found nowhere else in the country. As you enter the reserve, the landscape immediately tells you this is different from Kenya's southern parks. Dum palms line the chocolate-brown river, their distinctive Y-shaped trunks creating natural architecture against the sky. The terrain is raw and dramatic, with kopjes, rocky outcrops, rising from thorny scrubland. Samburu is famous for its Special 5, rare species found only in northern Kenya. The Grevy's zebra, with its distinctive narrow stripes, is more elegant than its southern cousins. The reticulated giraffe wears a coat of geometric patterns so precise they seem painted by an artist. The long-necked Gerenuk antelope stands on its hind legs to reach tender leaves, while the Somali ostrich and Besa oryx complete this unique cast of characters. The Ewaso Nyiro River is the lifeline of this arid region. During the heat of the day, elephants gather along its banks, spraying themselves with red-tinted water and teaching their young how to swim. Crocodiles bask on sandbanks, while troops of baboons move noisily through the riverine forest. The reserve is also home to the Samburu people, close cousins to the Maasai. Their traditional knowledge of this harsh but beautiful environment adds depth to any safari experience. Lions here have adapted to the hot conditions, often choosing to rest in the shade of the giant dawam palms. Leopards are frequently spotted, their spotted coats blending perfectly with the dappled shade of the acacia trees. At dusk, the reserve transforms. The setting sun turns the landscape to gold, while birds of prey soar on thermal currents, scanning for their last meal of the day. As darkness falls, the sounds change. The grunt of leopards and the sharp bark of baboons echo across the cooling landscape. Hell's Gate National Park. Named for its intense geothermal activity and dramatic landscape, this park offers experiences you won't find anywhere else in East Africa. Unlike most wildlife parks, Hell's Gate allows visitors to explore on foot or bicycle, creating an intimacy with nature that's impossible from a vehicle. Massive sandstone cliffs and volcanic rock towers rise from the valley floor, their weathered faces attracting rock climbers from around the world. The park's most dramatic feature is the Hell's Gate Gorge, where narrow cliffs of red sandstone rise up to 25 meters high. Walking through this natural corridor, you can see layers of geological history in the rock walls, while hot springs and steam vents remind you of the powerful forces still at work beneath your feet. Despite its forbidding name, the park is a haven for wildlife. Troops of baboons move across the cliff faces, while Varro's eagles nest in the high crags. The open plains support herds of buffalo, zebra, and antelope, creating an authentic African safari experience that you can enjoy from ground level. The geothermal activity that gave the park its name is still very much alive. Steam vents release plumes of hot vapor into the air, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. This same geothermal energy is harnessed by nearby power stations, providing clean energy for Kenya's growing economy. The park's dramatic landscapes have inspired filmmakers for generations. Some say Pride Rock from The Lion King was modeled on the park's distinctive rock formations.
Is our kingdom. Wow. A king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day.
Standing atop these ancient cliffs, watching eagles soar at eye level while zebras graze on the plains below, it's easy to understand why. Our journey brings us to a truly unique wildlife sanctuary, Nairobi National Park, the only national park in the world that borders a capital city. Here, the wild Africa of your dreams exists just minutes from downtown skyscrapers, creating surreal scenes where lions roam against a backdrop of modern architecture. As you enter the park, the transformation is immediate and remarkable. The busy city dissolves away, replaced by 117 square kilometers of pristine savanna, forest, and river systems. The contrast is striking. Giraffes browse on acacia trees, while office workers go about their day in the buildings visible on the horizon. Despite its urban location, the park is a complete ecosystem. The Athi River Basin and its surrounding plains support over 100 species of mammals and more than 400 bird species. Black rhinos thrive here, making it one of Kenya's most successful rhino sanctuaries. Lions still reign here, and it's not uncommon to see a pride lounging near the park's southern boundary, seemingly oblivious to the city behind them. The park's proximity to the city makes it an important educational resource. On weekends, you'll see families enjoying picnics at the designated sites while learning about wildlife conservation. The Nairobi Safari Walk offers close-up encounters with wildlife and serves as a vital conservation education center. From urban wildlife, we travel to the coast, where Diani Beach stretches like a ribbon of white silk against the turquoise waters of the Indian Ocean. This award-winning beach destination combines natural beauty with modern comfort, creating one of Africa's most stunning coastal experiences. As you step onto Diani's powder-soft sand, you'll understand why it consistently ranks among the world's best beaches. The beach stretches for 17 uninterrupted kilometers, fringed by lush coastal forest, where black and white colobus monkeys swing through the branches of ancient baobab trees. The ocean here is a painter's palette of blues, from pale turquoise in the shallows to deep indigo where the reef drops off. The coral reef, running parallel to the shore, creates perfect conditions for swimming and diving, with calm, clear waters crowded with fish. Starfish rest on the sandy bottom, while hermit crabs scuttle between pools, and occasionally, sea turtles glide past in the deeper waters. The beach comes alive at dawn when local fishermen set out in their traditional dhows. As the day progresses, you might spot dolphins playing in the waves or, between June and September, witness humpback whales on their annual migration. At sunset, the sky puts on a spectacular show, painting the clouds in shades of pink and gold. The sight of dhows silhouetted against the setting sun creates quintessential African coastal scenes that photographers dream of capturing. Continuing along the coast, we discover the twin treasures of Malindi and Watamu, where centuries of history blend with natural wonders. These ancient coastal towns, just 20 kilometers apart, offer a fascinating mix of cultural heritage, marine parks, and pristine beaches. Malindi, with its 13th century origins, still retains much of its historical charm. The old town's narrow streets are lined with buildings that tell stories of Portuguese explorers, Arab traders, and Swahili merchants. The famous Vasco da Gama pillar, erected in 1499, stands as a testament to the town's importance in early maritime exploration. The marine parks of both towns are among the oldest in Africa. Beneath the surface, coral gardens stretch for kilometers, home to over 600 species of fish. Sea turtles glide through the clear waters, while moray eels peer from their coral hideouts. Between November and March, migrating whale sharks sometimes pass through these waters. Watamu's beach is marked by unusual rock formations that create a series of small bays, each feeling like a private paradise. At low tide, these rocks reveal pools teeming with marine life, making them natural aquariums perfect for young explorers. The Gedi ruins, lying in the forest between the two towns, provide a mysterious glimpse into medieval Swahili life. These 12th century ruins, now overgrown with strangler figs and baobabs, include houses, mosques, and a palace, all telling stories of a sophisticated civilization that once thrived here. As our journey through Kenya's wonders comes to an end, we hope you felt the magic that makes this country truly special. Remember to share this video with fellow travel enthusiasts who dream of exploring Africa's wonders. Leave a comment below telling us which of these amazing places you'd like to visit first. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to join us on our next adventure. We'll be exploring more of Africa's most beautiful destinations in our upcoming videos. Until then, may you have a good journey.